Hello everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Kerbal Space Program .25, where this is basically the continuing missions of our .24 career mode. So last time we launched this gigantic atrocity into orbit, successfully I must say, and we've successfully completed our Moho burn. We're a little bit off from it, but once we make this inclination change here at the descending node, we should get a better idea of how this is going to go. Now this might be a little tedious and I might have to go off camera to do some adjustments because this has always given me trouble going to Moho. Because even if you are perfectly lined up, you've done your burn just right with the phase angle, it's still not guaranteed that you're going to get any sort of sensible encounter. We might have to do some serious finagling, but I won't worry about that. Let's just go ahead and do it. What we need to do now is get the descending node to zero out. It's at 7 degrees off right now, which is quite a lot when you're at these sort of planetary distances. So we're just going to have to pull this up, and it's going to be a staggering amount of delta V we're going to have to spend just to get this thing to go. Maybe not staggering. Okay, so maybe just 1,000. We'll go with 1,000, right on the money. That's pretty cool. So as you can see, even though we've adjusted this thing just right, we're still not quite correct. We still have to do some more corrections after we get to this point. But once we do this, we will be a little more able to bring this in, I guess. We'll be a little better off. So, and this is what I'm talking about with the nav ball. See this little blue arrow down here? It's telling us where that maneuver node is. So right now I'm pressing W as hard as I can, and it's moving so slow. So we have to, maybe we'll try our RCS just to get us there. I'll take the SAS off to just let inertia push us over that way. Did some RCS burning. Ooh, and the camera rotates. Yes, I'm going to press the 3 key right now, just to shut off these reaction wheels. Not the reaction wheels, the, what do you call them? RCS thrusters. There we are. Because when they're attached like that to the main ship, I only want like a set here and a set here moving. It's unnecessary to have the middle set. Okay. We're pretty much there, and as you notice on the nav ball too, the little triangular normal icon, I think they call that normal, is there on the nav ball, and it's not a result of the enhanced nav ball mod. It's actually because in this version of KSP, the nav ball is just much better. It makes way more sense because they added those icons on there. But here we are. It's quite a nice picture here, isn't it? Just floating away from our home planet once again, because we're insane or extremely brave or some combination of both. And here we go, we're just making our retro orbit escape. My god, that looks cool. Now, someone shed some light on this for me, because in my Joule series, I was noticing that when I would make my escapes, the periapsis it said I was supposed to have was different. And the reason for that is because I was time warping past the escape node. Which makes a lot of sense, because when you time warp, the game just kind of forgets how to do math sometimes. So when we cross these thresholds, we need to be not time warping, which, you know, that's good to know. I'm actually surprised I didn't know that myself, but hey, you can't know everything, guys. Well, some of us think they know everything, but but that's okay. That's totally not a dig, by the way, at the guy who gave me that information. I'm very thankful to him. I think it was WWF fan. I forget what his name was, but so thank you him for that lovely information. Now I will know not to time warp across these thresholds. So here we go. We'll just get a little closer. Getting a little further away from our home planet here. Alright. We'll just kind of cross the line here. I think ×5 is probably okay. Yes, there we are. Very good, very, very good. We have now escaped And so now we're going to put ourselves in this wild inclination here. Let's just go ahead and speed things along a little bit. Trips into the solar system always take way less time than trips farther out in the solar system. Just because you just keep getting faster and faster as you go closer to the sun. Which is kind of nice. These trips don't really take as long as, say, a trip to Jool or Elo. A trip to Elu is going to be crazy. That might be like the very, very last thing we do. So this burn is going to take a minute. Which will leave us with 53 seconds left of thrust, which is just awesome because that's probably how long it'll take us to slow down to get to actual Moho itself. So we'll do this burn at about 30 seconds, somewhere around that mark. And it's not totally, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, wow, I just missed our mark. But anyway, as I was just saying, it's not totally necessary to do it exactly at the right time at these distances. As long as you're in the ballpark of about an hour or so, I think you're okay. So here we go. We're making our inclination change burn. Now, if you tried to do this with the nuclear engine, you'd be looking at a burn time of 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Of course, it'd be efficient, but it just takes too damn long. And I don't know, this just seems like a better way to do it. Just hold on to as much of the ascent stage as possible. Use that as much as possible. This way you can leave all this fuel up here for getting home, basically, or any other corrections you have to do. Hey, if you got a better way to get to Moho, please let me know, because I don't like this way either. It's all... Then again, I don't think there really is a good way to get to Moho. It's just that planet that everyone just goes, ugh, Moho, yeah. Alright, so that's us. We have now officially changed our inclination. It's now zeroed out. But again, see, we don't have our encounter anymore, so what we have to do now is where we have to finagle around. So let's see. That's actually, all things considered, not too bad. So we're going to be behind it again because we left a few hundredths of a degree late. So just that little bit is going to affect us all the way out here. So we're going to have to try to just do this. Probably pull this way to get us closer. Which I don't really want to do, and there's a reason for that. This is what I was talking about earlier. Well, actually, we have our encounter. I don't like pulling in like this to speed up faster than the planet, because what that means is then we're going to have a lot more... We're going to basically get a lot more speed to have to kill off. But all things considered, this isn't too bad. Like, I've had to sometimes come in this close, this much in, just to catch up with Moho. But this isn't too bad. I'll go with this one. And we can always just make even more corrections. But here's our lovely nav ball marker telling us that we must now turn the spacecraft up here towards the orange. And that burn's going to be in about 5 days' time. These poor guys sitting in their little tuna can for 5 days. Well, it's been 262 days so far, so I don't even know what I'm talking about. 5 days probably nothing to them. Another thing you'll notice that's kind of cool is that the photocells, look at that, it'll just keep picking up power. The closer you get to the sun, the energy flow just keeps going up and up and up and up and up, which is kind of nice. Basically the exact opposite of when we went to Jool, if you guys remember that. The power cells just dropped below 1. It was like at 0.5 by the time we got to Jool, I think. Alright. So we'll warp ahead a little bit. Just a little bit. Warp ahead a little bit. I apologize to my British YouTube viewers out there. That's a terrible accent. I don't know why I even bother. I actually date a girl that's English, and I always do the accent, my atrocious accent, just to mess with her. She just rolls her eyes at me. She's like, that's not it. Alright, let's see. It's only going to be a 15-second burn. That's not too bad, all things considered. This one I'm going to try to get correctly. there we go. We can just do this now. Just light this thing up. Maybe about half. Half throttle, just a nice, easy burn. Just pushing ourselves closer to the sun, basically, is causing us to orbitally speed up. We're not necessarily increasing, actually we're decreasing our orbital speed, but in the long run, gravity is going to give us a little boost. It's basically a gravity speed up, even though we're technically slowing down. Isn't that weird? I don't know, I always thought those things were crazy. Alright, we'll just manually get this thing in. Oop, alright. So we're down to, what, 5 million? No, I don't want to switch to. We're down to 5 million meters. We're just going to RCS that in as close as we can. Hopefully we can get it quite close. Down to 4 million. 3 million. Maybe I can just go at 1% thrust. Ooh, yeah, there we go. 2 million. The closer we get this now, the better off we will be. So I want to make sure I'm not completely destroying all our monopropellant. There we go. It's not too bad. I put a lot of tanks on there. Oh, this is great. I'm getting this right down. Oh, that looks like the limit. 500,000 meters. It's not too bad, all things considered. That's like the catchphrase. All things considered, that's not too bad. Alright. We could probably get it a little nicer once we get closer, but that's pretty good. Let's zoom forward. Turn off the RCS. So now it's just a long ride. Pointing right at the sun, pretty much. We can watch the sun just get bigger and bigger. It's freaky, isn't it? Just kind of circling in closer and closer to it. I just don't want to miss my mark here. That would be very sad if I just blew right by it. It seems to have like a bright photosphere. That could be the astronomer's pack. Very bright area right here. I'm not sure if that's how it normally looks or what. And you know, that's another thing I'm kind of looking forward to in more KSP versions, is like some kind of atmosphere effects that are native to the game. In other words, you don't have to use a mod to get like clouds, basically. Now here's what I'm talking about. See, we're way behind Moho. We should have met up right here. If I had done that phase angle just right before we left, we probably would have met up right around here. But because I was a few hundredths of a degree late, we're late. Which is why we have to now come inside the orbit to speed up, and then we're going to meet over here. Which is probably going to cost us, I don't know, a couple hundred meters per second. We probably could have saved, but maybe even more. Maybe 500 meters per second. But I'm not too worried, because we still have a lot of fuel left to slow down. I'm just curious. Could we correct this even more? Nope, not that way. Or that way. What about forwards or backwards? What are we at? 581? No, that's worse. And 700. So it looks like there's really nothing we can do at this point. We're going to get that 500,000 meter encounter. That's alright. Wow. Moho should be somewhere over here. We're not quite pointed at it completely, but it is somewhere in this general area. We're catching up to it now. See, we've now... Moho's orbiting at 12,220. We're at 16,000. So like I said, that's going to hurt us a little bit. We're slowing down. We are slowing down a bit as we get back towards the orbit, but that's going to hurt us, that little bit of catch-up we had to play. When it's time to go ahead and slow down. And that's the last annoying part about Moho is slowing down. Or there's no atmosphere, so we can't do our usual aero brake maneuver, which is what we had normally been doing thus far. But the good news is, because we're coming up behind it, we're going to be captured going the correct way around the planet. So that's something I'm looking forward to. We should definitely be able to see it now. Oh, it's right there in front of us. So there it is, just a little potato of a planet. And you can see there's some kind of haze around the front. I guess because the sun just kind of ablates away the surface, melts it a little bit. At least that's what I'm guessing. But 2 minutes away from our encounter. Looks like we're going to be in a polar sort of orbit above it, which is annoying. We're going to have to fix that. But we've had worse to deal with before. So let's go ahead. Just get ourselves there. Alright. Now here's... No, I want to maneuver right here. Here's the part that gets a little tricky. I want to do something like this first. Just to get ourselves lined up, basically going across the equator. Now this whole time we're kind of in like a time crisis because, well, basically we're moving so fast. Like the escape is in a mere 1 hour, so we have an hour to make corrections before we go flying out, and probably, yeah, I don't know, we would end up in some sort of near solar orbit, which would probably be the worst form of hell, being in an orbit this close to the star forever. So we're going to want to try to not have that scenario happen. We are not going to get stuck. We're not going to miss this mark. In fact, we've already blown right by our maneuver node, which is not a good sign, but that's alright. This burn, again, is just to correct where we're going here. Basically just to get the anti-normal around the South Pole. That's what we want. And then the next thing we gotta do is just slow down a lot. A lot. A lot. Oh my god. Oh my god. That is so much fuel. So this is what I'm talking about. Oh my god. Can we start that now? Oh my god. I like don't even want to wait till we get to that point because we will blow right by it. We only have 25 seconds and that's a 2-minute burn with this engine, but we only have 25 seconds of it. This is gonna be interesting to say the least, folks. We might have screwed the pooch there when I said, you know, I've seen worse things. We probably won't screw ourselves over too much by speeding up like that. We might have just screwed the pooch. I don't know. There might be a definite refueling mission in the near future, which is what I tried to avoid, but I honestly thought the odds of a successful outcome of doing a Moho mission without a refueling was like something like 30% chance. So we're probably going to have to send a refueling lug out here, which is fine. I don't really have any qualms about that. I am, however, not going to wait till here to start the burn. I'm probably going to wait till about here. Just because, well, if I wait till here, we're not going to make it. We're just not going to make it. In fact, I might even start that sooner than later. Yeah, we're going to start this right now. Just because I'm getting super paranoid. And it's alright. Basically, we just have to kill off almost all of our velocity. Almost all of it. I wish we had a little more left, but we just don't. We just don't have it. Man, this is going to be rough. Alright. This is it. Goodbye. Estimated burn 30 minutes? Oh my god. This is insane. Oh my god, that's like the longest burn I've ever had to do. Oh my goodness. Are we even gonna slow down in time? Yes, well, at least we'll make it. So probably around, by the time we're about here, we'll have fully slowed down. Maybe here. But now, if you guys didn't believe me before, now you certainly believe me about the fuel requirements. It's just, it's insane. It's ludicrous. Ludicrous speed. Go! So you know what? Looking at the clock, I think that's a good place to end this episode right here, right in the middle of our burn. So join me next time as we continue our burn around the planet Moho. Oh my goodness, will we have enough fuel? Probably not, but it's still going to be a fun ride anyways. So join me then. Thanks for watching.